Can you read to me the nameplate?
Judge Eboni K. Williams.
So the only thing that matters in this particular courtroom is how I see it. I am from North Carolina by way of Louisiana with some West Coast cool and a New York edge. Do we have a problem, ma'am?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
Equal justice is all about the most important values of our country: freedom, integrity, and those are the things that I'm striving for. Ma'am, you run your household, this man gets to run his. I decided to become an attorney and pursue the law. I wanted to be a voice for the voiceless. This court cannot hold this woman accountable. People from all sectors of life, black, white, purple, gay, straight, queer, and that's what equal justice with Judge Eboni K. Williams is all about.
Grace Lee claims she was blindsided when her ex-girlfriend ended things, since she had already paid the holding fee for their new apartment. Farah Garcia says they discussed moving in together, but she never agreed to it.
Miss Grace Lee here as my plaintiff and Miss Farah Garcia as my defendant. Miss Lee, I see you are suing Miss Garcia for $1,000. Tell me why we are in court today.
I am suing my ex-girlfriend for $1,000 because she lied to me. She told me that she would move in with me, and she didn't, and she left me for somebody else.
Now, where does this $1,000 come into play?
So, I put a holding fee down as a deposit, and it was $2,000, and I was only sent back $1,000 after I told the landlord that I would not be moving in.
Okay, how long were you together?
We were together for almost 2 years.
Okay, so together 2 years. Now, why is she telling the court that she believed that y'all were going to move into an apartment together? She put $2,000 down to hold this apartment, and that you left her high and dry.
Well, I am as surprised as anyone here. We talked about moving in together eventually, maybe one day. We had ideas about it.
Okay.
And I went away to see my family for a week over to San Diego.
Okay.
And when I was gone, she toured an apartment without my knowledge, and she put down a holding fee without my consent. And now she's charging me for that.
But we had been talking about it for 6 months, about moving in together. We were shopping together for stuff to share at the apartment.
So, Ms. Garcia, you're telling me that y'all were together for, you said, 2 years?
Yes.
In a romantic partnership?
Yes.
But you had your own places?
Yes.
The whole time? Okay, so where would she get an idea, ma'am, that y'all were ready to put down a deposit and sign a lease? Because that's what she's telling the court.
I think she just got way too excited, way too ahead of herself. Honestly, we never really actually discussed the fact that we were gonna compromise to moving in together, and it really came as a surprise to me.
Did you want to move in with her?
Yeah, maybe eventually. I mean, we had been together for around 2 years.
Okay, so why are y'all no longer together today? Because it sounds like if it was getting ready to move in together time, it was going well. Or
Well,
was the relationship going well, Ms. Garcia?
It was,
Okay.
yeah. But I actually reconnected with an old friend when I was back home, and nothing really happened. Honestly, I did not cheat on Grace. I would never.
So you went on a date, Ms. Garcia.
I wouldn't say it was a date,
Was
actually.
it you and a group of people?
No.
So it was you and one other woman?
one other man.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. So you
Yeah.
identify as bisexual?
Yes.
Okay,
Your
cool.
Honor.
So you go on this date, but you say nothing physical happened. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. And are you still in contact with this friend today?
In occasion, we do text.
And
Yeah.
did Miss Lee know about this friendly drink date situation?
No.
Not at all.
You broke up with her.
Yes.
And why did you break up with her?
Well, I figured I did not want to mislead the situation to myself or to her and continue with a relationship that I wasn't fully into anymore.
And it took, and I'm not judging, but I'm just trying to be honest here and clear with the court. It took you seeing this gentleman that you have known, have history with, to realize that you really weren't as into Miss Lee as you thought you were. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's fair to say.
Were you surprised?
I was completely blindsided. I had no idea. I was in love with this wonderful woman, and she just came back and changed her mind like that.
Miss Lee, is the court to understand then that you went about sourcing apartments for you and your girlfriend alone, and then you thought, without her consent or even looking at this apartment, that it was smart to put down a $2,000 deposit?
Yes, because it was right where we had been looking for other apartments and the price was very affordable. And I kind of wanted to keep it as a surprise, as I know that she...
Surprise, I got us an apartment?
Well, our relationship is full of surprises. We always do nice things for each other.
Well, I think that's a hell of a surprise, Miss Lee,
Yes.
because it's so important, and you're making all these decisions unilaterally. Do you see that there's an issue there?
But before she left to go visit her family, she seemed very eager to move in. I have the messages.
Okay, so yeah, let's get to the evidence. Go, Miss Lee, give my bailiff all of your evidence.
Yes.
The entire folder, please.
The entire folder, please. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I can understand. Because I want to hear what you're saying, Miss Lee, but it needs to make sense. Okay. Back in September, this is actually you, Miss Garcia, saying to your then girlfriend, I want a rug like this. She says, I love that. We're going to have the cutest place. You do say, can't wait. This is from Miss Garcia. Hey, babe, did I leave my sweater at your place? You say, Miss Lee, yes, it's in my room. I'll bring it back tonight. You say, Miss Garcia, thanks. It would be so much easier if all of our stuff was in one place. Miss Lee says, soon enough it will be. This is you this time starting, Miss Lee. Can't wait to spend the whole night looking at apartments that we know we can't afford, LOL. Then you, Miss Garcia, a girl can dream. Maybe we should look at some we can actually consider. You say, can't wait to live with you one day, and you do send her a smiley face.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
I thought that things were moving way too quick in the sense that she took a decision without consulting me. She went and gave a deposit fee without my consent, without my knowledge.
And later,
He wasn't given the tickets. They were never actually personally given to him.
But you knew that it was a gift that she was giving to me.
Yes, but she's no longer here.
Okay.
So
but I
the tickets
still
were
feel that.
the tickets were sealed, I think.
if you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with the case of Grace Lee, who blames her ex-girlfriend, Farah Garcia, for a lost holding fee.
Do you understand that that undermines your whole argument you're making in court today, Miss Garcia? Because by you saying, let's be more practical, that makes this woman believe that it's more likely to really happen.
Yes, we did discuss the idea of moving in together eventually, but I never agreed, neither verbally or in text or in any
I understand
sort of...
that, but Miss Garcia, you do have to understand that words matter, right? And once you're starting to create a fantasy of this life, of this beautiful apartment, and let's do this rug, and let's do this paint color, and wouldn't this be so cute and great and convenient, I'm starting to get a sense that you just looked at Miss Lee like a person of convenience, and that this whole relationship started to be one of convenience.
I was with her for 2 years, and I wouldn't have if I didn't actually love her and want to be with her. But I thought that things were moving way too quick in the sense that she took a decision without consulting me. She went and gave a deposit fee without my consent, without my knowledge.
Okay,
and
well,
that
let's
to
talk
me
about-
is betrayal.
Okay, you said a betrayal.
I mean, of our trust, yeah.
Okay.
Betrayal of your trust.
All right, so what do you say about that, Miss Garcia? What do you say about the fact that this woman is telling the court, and she's asking me to order you to pay her $1,000 because this whole thing was your fault. She's saying that but for you, winky face, smiley face, let's do it, can't wait, but for you leading her down that ideology, she would have never done such a thing.
Yes, maybe eventually I would have loved to move in with her and go and tour the apartment together, and I would have been like completely okay with giving that deposit fee together. But it is the fact that she didn't consult me and that she did it on her own that's what's bothering me, and
How do
that's
you
why
okay.
I don't think it's fair for her to be here demanding me to pay money I didn't agree to in the first place.
Okay, Miss Garcia. Miss Lee, what is your response to that? What do you say to the fact that despite a fairly convincing case that you have made about the road that you were being led down to believe in this fantasy of cohabitation with you and this woman that you love, she didn't agree to anything. She didn't look at this apartment. She didn't sign anything. She didn't even verbally via text say, yes, let's do this. Because this was all kind of hypothetical in terms of what you have presented to the court today. The fact is that you did on your own accord go look at this unit. You made the decision that it was the perfect location. She might not have even thought that. Who knows? You said it was the perfect location. You said it was the right price point. You. See the pattern here?
I see the pattern, but I will say that Farah also looked at listings with me that were very similar in terms of location, and I don't know, it seemed like it was perfect when I was there. I could
It
feel
seemed like she was
life.
making all the decisions for me.
Okay. I got it from here, Miss Garcia. Go ahead, Miss Lee.
I just feel like it was perfect. It had a little park outside. There was a common room area. It had everything we were looking for. It was good size, and I just feel like I loved it so much, and I could totally see us having a future there.
Right.
And she.
Okay. I hear you, Miss Lee. I do believe the court is ready to rule here. Here's what's unfortunate. I do believe that at one point in time, you two ladies had a loving and mutually agreed upon relationship. And I think, as happens often in matters of the heart, one of you kind of fell out of love with the other at a different pace. That's what happened. I don't think that Miss Garcia did this deliberately to hurt you. I really don't. I do think that she probably stayed in it a little too long, matter of fact. I think that Miss Lee, I'm delivering my ruling. And I'm telling you something that I know you don't want to hear, which is why you keep trying to interrupt me. But you need to hear this. You need to hear that a woman that you loved, and that I do believe loved you back at one point, simply grew apart. But you'll never know true love. You'll never have the benefit of your happily ever after unless you are willing to take the risk of the pain you're feeling right now. So the court empathizes with you deeply. I truly do. I have been where you are. I think most of us in this room have, at one particular point nor time. The problem with your legal case, though, is that you're asking this court to make her pay essentially really for your pain and suffering. You want her to pay for the fact that you got carried away with your idealized version of what the relationship was going to play out like, when all she kind of gave you was a maybe someday sort of kind of we'll see. That's all she gave you, Miss Lee. She didn't look at the actual unit. Only you did. She didn't approve of the actual unit. Only you did. And she didn't put $1 towards the unit. Only you did. So unfortunately, Miss Lee, the court is going to have to dismiss your case and chalk up your $1,000 expense as the cost of a lesson learned. That is my ruling.
All rise.
Judge Eboni has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's case is dismissed.
Any final thoughts for each other?
The judge made the right decision and the fair one.
You never even loved me.
You've had your final day in court. Please follow me.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
If money were no object, there was no financial hardship going on in this very sad, unfortunate case of your wife's passing, would you have allowed your nephew-in-law to use the ticket and go to the show?
No.
This is Equal Justice. Maxwell Connors claims his late aunt gifted him with theater tickets before she passed away, but his uncle sold them instead. Perry Caldwell says he needed the money, but wouldn't have given his nephew the tickets anyway.
Tell me why we're in court today.
Your Honor, I'm here today because growing up, my late aunt, who was his wife, growing up, she always took me to the theater. I loved going to watch performances with her and acting, and that's actually why I'm in pursuit of that now, is because of her.
Excellent.
While on the other hand, I felt like my relationship with him, we've always never seen eye to eye. He's never liked me, and I always feel that he never supported me.
Mr. Connors, when did your aunt pass away?
She passed away last October.
Okay, I'm very sorry for both of your loss.
Thank you.
So what exactly is the $450 issue as it relates today?
So last summer, before she passed, she had sent me a screenshot, which I have here today.
Go ahead and offer your folder up to my bailiff. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So my late aunt had basically told me that she'd gotten tickets to a show I had been so excited to see for so long at one of the most famous theaters in Chicago, and it was a gift from her to me, and I was so excited to go and see it with her, and then she passed in October of last year.
Oh, I see. And she says Maxwell just got us tickets to see the show in December.
Yes.
So 2 months prior to that, she passes away. Okay.
And I thought he wouldn't want to go with me, so when I went to him and I had asked for the tickets, he told me that he had sold them.
Okay. What do you have to say about that, Mr. Caldwell? And again, the court gives you condolences, but let's talk about these tickets. Where are they?
Basically, I sold the tickets because money problems. He wasn't given the tickets. They were never actually personally given to him.
But you knew that it was a gift that she was giving to me.
Yes, but she's no longer here.
Okay.
So
but
the tickets were the tickets were sold by tickets.
Coming up on Equal Justice.
I had tried to resolve this with him before, and as you have seen, our communication is not great.
No, there's no love lost here.
This is Equal Justice. Equal Justice is back with the case of Maxwell Connors, who brought his uncle, Perry Caldwell, to court over gifted tickets that were sold.
So I do notice, Mr. Connors, you are only suing for half of the amount of both tickets. You're suing for $450. So you're just asking for the value of your one ticket.
Yes, Your Honor. I felt that the fact that he doesn't seem to care at all, I think shows a lot of his character.
Now, one could argue, though, Mr. Connors, that let's say everything you said is true. The show has already come and passed.
Yes.
So therefore, there is no going to this show anymore. So you would be wanting the $450 what, as restitution?
Yeah, I had tried to resolve this with him before, and as you have seen, our communication is not great.
No, there's no love lost here. But tell me about this resolution effort on your part. What did you try to
I tried
broker?
to reach out to him before the show had happened.
Before the show.
And
Okay.
just basically say to him that I was still, when I had told him that I had still wanted to go to the show, he had told me that he had already sold them. And so when I said to him, could I get one of them, could I possibly get one of the tickets back? He said that there's nothing I could do now, it's too late. I feel that because I still wanted to go and she would have wanted me to go.
Okay, Mr. Caldwell, your wife has gone on to glory, and yet here we are with these two tickets. Did you consider following your wife's initial intention of inviting your nephew here to the show?
I did consider it, but at the same time, she paid for these with my credit card, and so I sold them so I could recoup some of the costs.
So I'm going to ask you a super direct question, and I know you're going to answer me honestly because you're sworn under oath. If money were no object, there was no financial hardship going on in this very sad, unfortunate case of your wife's passing, would you have allowed your nephew-in-law to use the ticket and go to the show?
No.
Judge Eboni's verdict when Equal Justice returns. This is Equal Justice.
Unfortunately, Mr. Caldwell, you've demonstrated that what you think is the right thing to do is a nasty thing to do. I wouldn't have given him 2 tickets if I were you, but I would have given him the 1 ticket that your wife so clearly intended via these text messages for him to have as a gift.
That I paid for.
I don't give a crap if Jesus paid for him, okay? I really don't. The court is not pleased with your disposition nor your intention. Therefore, I will rule in favor of the plaintiff for the full amount, $450. That is my ruling.
All rise.
Judge Eboni has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $450.
Any final thoughts for each other?
I really wish it didn't have to come to this, but you didn't give me any other choice.
I think you're disrespectful, and I hope you choke on those tickets, mate.
Okay. You've had your day in court, gentlemen. Please follow me.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.